Hello, devoted fans of the soap opera world. Welcome back to TV Day's Drama Digest, your ultimate source for all the twists, turns, and heart-wrenching moments from the iconic town of Salem and Days of Our Lives. We're the team that's always got our eyes glued to the screen, dissecting every glance, every whisper, and every explosive confrontation. Today, we're diving deep into a storyline that's got everyone buzzing, the turbulent saga of young Rachel Black and her desperate quest to reunite her fractured family. But beware, dear readers, this tale is laced with betrayal, manipulation, and a shocking incident that could spell the end for Rachel as we know her. Will her actions cross the line from childish rebellion into something far more sinister? Could this lead to her being shipped off to Bayview, the infamous psychiatric facility that's claimed so many Salem souls? Buckle up as we expand on this gripping plot, adding layers of drama, emotional depth, and speculative intrigue to paint a fuller picture of what might be Rachel's biggest mistake yet. Let's set the stage properly, shall we? For those who might need a quick refresher for the newcomers, who've just stumbled into the addictive web of Days of Our Lives, Circle Black is no ordinary child. Born into a legacy of chaos, she's the daughter of the notorious Kristen DiMera and Brady Black, two characters whose love story has been a rollercoaster of passion, deception, and heartbreak. Kristen, with her scheming ways and unyielding ambition, has always been a force of nature in Salem, often blurring the lines between love and obsession. Brady, on the other hand, has tried time and again to break free from the toxic cycles of his past, seeking stability and genuine connection. But Rachel, caught in the crossfire of their tumultuous relationship, has internalized a fierce loyalty to her mother. In her young mind, the only path to happiness is seeing Kristen and Brady back together, no matter the cost. This isn't just puppy love or innocent wishing. It's a deep-seated conviction that's been brewing since Rachel first understood the fractures in her family. Now, fast forward to the recent episodes that have set the fandom ablaze. It all starts innocently enough, or at least as innocent as things ever get in Salem. Brady, ever the doting father despite his own demons, hands over some cash to Rachel for a seemingly harmless purchase, a vending machine treat. It's one of those small, everyday moments that Days uses so masterfully to humanize its characters. Rachel, with her wide-eyed excitement, skips off to indulge in a sugary snack, perhaps a chocolate bar or some chips anything to brighten her day amid the constant upheaval. But while she's away, the real drama unfolds in the shadows. Brady pulls Sarah Horton aside for a private conversation. Sarah, for the uninitiated, is another Salem staply resilient doctor who's endured her own share of tragedies, from lost loves to life-altering accidents. She's been inching closer to Brady in recent months, their bond forged in shared vulnerabilities. Brady confides in her a chilling secret Kristen might have escaped from wherever she's been held. Rumors swirl it could be prison or some DiMera hideout. Days loves its ambiguous escapes. The tension in the air is palpable. Brady's voice drops to a whisper, his eyes darting around as if expecting Kristen to materialize from thin air. Sarah, empathetic as always, reaches out and envelops him in a comforting hug. It's a tender moment charged with unspoken affection. The camera lingers on their embrace, the soft lighting highlighting the subtle chemistry between them. But oh, the irony, Rachel returns at precisely the wrong instant, her vending machine prize clutched in her hand, only to witness this intimate scene. What follows is a confrontation that's pure soap opera gold, raw, emotional, and dripping with potential for escalation. Rachel's face twists from confusion to fury in an instant. "What are you doing with my daddy?" she demands, her voice shrill and accusatory. Brady and Sarah pull apart, startled as Rachel storms forward. She doesn't mince words. This pint-sized powerhouse accuses them outright of dating, her words laced with the venom only a child protecting her fantasy family can muster. "You're not supposed to hug him like that. That's for my mommy." The room falls silent, the weight of her outburst hanging heavy. Brady tries to calm her, explaining it's just a friendly gesture, but Rachel isn't buying it. In her world, any woman who gets close to Brady is a threatened direct obstacle to the reunion she craves with Kristen. This isn't the first time Rachel's possessiveness has reared its head. Remember the past episodes where she's meddled in Brady's relationships? She's whispered doubts into his ear about potential partners, staged little accidents to disrupt dates, and even resorted to outright lies to paint interlopers in a bad light. But this time, it's different. Sarah isn't just any woman, she's kind, professional, and genuinely cares for Brady. Yet to Rachel, she's enemy number one. The girl's radar is locked on, and she's determined to dismantle whatever budding romance is forming. We've seen hints of her scheming in previews, furtive glances, whispered plans to herself, and that telltale mischievous glint in her eye. But the writers have upped the ante here, turning her from a bratty kid into a potential villain in the making. The plot thickens dramatically when Rachel decides to take action, drawing from the DiMera playbook after all. Manipulation runs in her blood. She hatches a plan to sabotage Sarah. The details are shrouded in mystery, but leaks and episode teasers suggest she'll tamper with Sarah's food. Imagine the scene: Sarah, oblivious, prepares a meal or grabs a snack at the Brady pub or perhaps at the hospital cafeteria. Rachel, lurking nearby with the innocence of a child, slips something into it, maybe peanuts if Sarah has a nut allergy, or some other allergen cleverly disguised. The act is quick, almost innocuous, but the intent is pure malice. Rachel watches from afar, her heart pounding with a mix of excitement and guilt. This will show her, she might mutter under her breath, convincing herself it's all for the greater good of her family. But as with all great soap twists, things spiral out of control in the most harrowing way. Sarah takes a bite, and within moments, the allergic reaction hits like a freight train. Her throat tightens, her face flushes red, hives erupt across her skin. She gasps for air, clutching at her neck as anaphylactic shock sets in. The camera pans in close, capturing every labored breath, every widening eye of panic. Bystanders rush to help, perhaps Sander or Maggie Horton, adding layers of family drama, but it's Brady who arrives on the scene first. His face a mask of horror. He administers an EpiPen if one's available or calls for emergency help, his hands shaking as he cradles Sarah. The hospital sequence that follows is edge-of-your-seat stuff, monitors beeping wildly, doctors shouting orders for lines being inserted. Sarah teeters on the brink, her life hanging by a thread, all because of a child's misguided jealousy. In the aftermath, the blame game begins, and it's brutal. Brady, piecing together the Clisser-Shell's presence, her earlier confrontation, perhaps a witness spotting her near the food, turns his fury on his own daughter. "What have you done, Rachel?" he thunders, his voice cracking with betrayal and fear. The confrontation scene is a masterclass in emotional acting, Brady's eyes well with tears, a mix of paternal love and righteous anger. Rachel, cornered, denies it at first, her lower lip trembling, but the evidence mounts. Maybe security footage catches her in the act, or a telltale item links back to her. Brady's disappointment is palpable. He's always tried to shield Rachel from the darker sides of her heritage, but now he sees echoes of Kristen in her actions. "This isn't you," he pleads, but deep down he wonders if it is. The question looming over Salem and over our screens is whether this incident will force Brady's hand. Will he demand that Rachel change her ways, perhaps enrolling her in therapy or counseling? Or will the severity push him further? Bayview Psychiatric Hospital has been a recurring specter in days, a place where characters like Abigail, Ben, and even Kristen herself have been committed for their mental health struggles. It's not just a facility, it's a symbol of rock bottom, a last resort for those who've lost control. Imagine Brady wrestling with the decision, late-night pacing in his living room, phone in hand, debating a call to the authorities. "I can't let her hurt anyone else," he might confide to a friend like John Black, his father, who knows all too well the pains of family dysfunction. But let's expand on the emotional ramifications here, because Days thrives on the human element. Rachel isn't a monster, she's a product of her environment. Growing up with a mother like Kristen, who's manipulated everyone from siblings to lovers, has left scars. Kristen's escapes and schemes have instilled in Rachel a warped sense of loyalty, family above all, by any means necessary. Add to that the instability of Brady's life, his battles with addiction, failed relationships, and the constant DiMera threats. Rachel's actions stem from fear of abandonment, fear of change. In a longer arc, we could see flashbacks to her childhood, tender moments with Kristen reading bedtime stories, laced with tales of revenge, or Brady promising stability only for it to crumble. This depth makes her more than a plot device, she's a tragic figure, a child crying out for help in the only way she knows. Sarah's perspective adds another layer of drama. Recovering in her hospital bed, pale and weakened, she might confront Brady about Rachel's behavior. "She's dangerous, Brady. What if next time it's worse?" Sarah's own history, losing her daughter Mickey. Her perilous eyes makes her resilient, but also cautious. Will this push her away from Brady, fearing for her safety? Or will it draw them closer, united against the chaos? And what about Kristen? If she is indeed escaped, rumors suggest she could swoop in, defending Rachel's actions as DiMera's spirit while plotting to reclaim her family. Picture a clandestine meeting, Kristen hiding in shadows, whispering encouragements to Rachel over a secret phone call. "You did what you had to, my darling. Mommy's proud." Speculation runs wild in the fandom forums. Will Rachel's stunt backfire spectacularly, alienating Brady further and paving the way for Sarah to become a stepmother figure? Or could it ironically bring Kristen back into the fold, forcing a custody battle that's sure to be explosive? Bayview isn't off the table previews hint at Brady consulting with Marlena Evans, Salem's resident psychiatrist, about options. She needs professional help, Marlena might advise, her voice gentle yet firm. The thought of Rachel in Bayview tugs at heartstrings, a young girl in a sterile room. Therapy sessions uncovering layers of trauma, perhaps even visits from a remorseful Brady. Let's not forget the ripple effects on the broader Salem canvas. The Brady pub could become a hub of gossip, with characters like Roman and Kate dissecting the events over coffee. That girl's got Demara blood, alright, Kate might quip, her eyes narrowing. Xander, Sarah's ex, could get involved. Protective instincts flaring, maybe even threatening Brady if he doesn't handle Rachel. And if anaphylaxis leads to complications like Sarah needing extended care, it could intersect with hospital storylines involving Kayla or Tripp. To make this even more dramatic, envision extended scenes, Rachel alone in her room after the confrontation, sobbing into her pillow, clutching a photo of her parents together. I just wanted us to be a family, she whispers, her voice breaking. Brady, outside the door, hesitates, torn between discipline and embrace. The soundtrack swells with poignant music, underscoring the tragedy. Or Sarah in the air, flashbacks to her past traumas intercut with her current fight for breath, heightening the stakes. As we wrap this deep dive, without trust us. We could go on forever. The core question remains, will Rachel's big mistake lead to her end? Not a literal death, but the end of her innocence, her freedom. Perhaps even our place in Brady's life? Days of Our Lives has a knack for redemption arcs, but this feels like a turning point. Stay tuned, fans, the drama in Salem never sleeps. What do you think? Drop your theories in the comments below. Will Brady send her to Bayview, or will love prevail? Until next time, keep digesting the drama with us at TV Days Drama Digest.